When you left N.W.A., you had this very public rift with your former, this crew from N.W.A., blood feud. There was real anger and rage going both ways.
Yeah, I was mad because I had left the group and I felt like it was a business thing. We all grown men and we could handle business, but they made it personal.
I said, listen, man, all of this going back and forth, man, either Jerry goes or I go. And he looked me in my face and said, I can't get rid of Jerry.
So I felt like he wasn't savvy enough to pull this without Jerry Heller's, coaxing and showing him how to make it happen the way Jerry wanted it to happen. So I was just mad at that dude because he wouldn't give me my contract. I just wanted, let me see it. Let me take it to my people.
Jerry Heller's family says he would have wanted the surviving members of N.W.A. at his funeral, but they probably should not expect an appearance by Ice Cube. The rapper/actor told Detroit's 107.5 over the weekend that he had no emotions regarding the passing of Heller, who managed N.W.A. for 4 years.
So when Ice Cube left N.W.A., it wasn't just a career move, it was a declaration of war. The fallout was explosive, turning former friends into bitter rivals and sparking one of the most legendary feuds in hip-hop history. But according to Cube, the breakup wasn't just about money or egos. It was personal. And while he's always pointed the finger at their manager, Jerry Heller, Cube has never been shy about suggesting Dr. Dre played a role in the group's demise. So what really went down between Ice Cube, Dr. Dre, and the rest of N.W.A.? And why does Cube still seem to feel like Dre betrayed him? Let's dive into the drama that tore apart one of the most influential groups in music history. In the late 1980s, N.W.A. revolutionized hip-hop with their raw, unapologetic lyrics and groundbreaking sound. They were more than a group. They were a movement, giving a voice to the streets and putting Compton on the map. But behind the scenes, things weren't as solid as they appeared. By 1989, Ice Cube had become increasingly frustrated with how the group was being managed. He was writing most of the lyrics, shaping the group's image, and driving much of their success. But when it came time to get paid, something didn't add up. Cube started asking questions about his contract and where all the money was going. According to him, Jerry Heller, the group's manager, was skimming off the top while the rest of the group stayed quiet. Cube confronted Eazy-E, who co-owned Ruthless Records with Heller, and gave him an ultimatum. Either Jerry goes or I go. Eazy chose Jerry. Feeling betrayed, Cube walked away. I wasn't going to let them play me, Cube later said. I just wanted to see the contract, take it to my people, and make sure everything was legit. But they made it personal. His departure set off a chain reaction that would eventually lead to the group's complete unraveling. When Cube left, it wasn't just about business, it was about loyalty. He believed the other members, including Dr. Dre, knew what was going on but chose to side with Heller and Eazy anyway. Dre had a choice, Cube said. He could have stood up for what was right, but he didn't. Cube's exit left a huge void in the group, and the cracks that had been forming under the surface began to widen. N.W.A. continued without Cube, but the tension only grew. Dre, who had been the mastermind behind the group's sound, started feeling the same frustrations Cube had experienced. By 1992, Dre had enough and left Ruthless Records to start Death Row Records with Suge Knight. This move added another layer of complexity to the feud. Death Row quickly became a powerhouse, dominating the West Coast rap scene with Dre's production genius and Suge's aggressive tactics.
This is a new thing, right?
Yeah.
See, if somebody gonna do something about it, see, technology is so high, right?
Right.
So if you somebody, you go to jail forever. So the kids, you don't want to go to jail forever, right? So they got this new thing out there. People sell them all the time. They got this stuff they get blood from somebody with AIDS.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
so
well, that seems bad.
That's a slow death.
Yeah.
An easy thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, no. Okay.
Way to lighten the mood.
Yeah. Wow. Well, Suge's terror alert level just went from elevated to high.
Albums like The Chronic and Snoop Dogg's Doggy Style redefined hip-hop and cemented Death Row's legacy. But for Cube, Dre's success with Death Row felt like a slap in the face. It wasn't just that Dre had left N.W.A., it was how he aligned himself with Suge Knight, creating a rival empire that overshadowed everything they had built together. Cube has hinted in interviews that Dre's decision to team up with Suge wasn't just about business, It was part of a larger plan to distance himself from N.W.A. According to Cube, Dre wasn't just building his own brand. He was trying to erase their legacy. It felt like he was trying to replace what we did with N.W.A., Cube said. Like it didn't matter anymore. The animosity between Cube and Dre spilled over into their music. Cube's track No Vaseline was a scathing diss aimed at N.W.A., accusing them of being sellouts manipulated by money and power. Dre, for his part, stayed relatively quiet, letting his work with Death Row speak for itself. But the tension between the two continued to simmer. When Dre eventually left Death Row in the mid-1990s, some thought it might be an opportunity for him and Cube to reconcile. But Cube wasn't convinced. He saw Dre's departure as more proof that Dre was only loyal to himself. He's always looking for the next move, Cube said. He jumps ship when it's convenient for him. There's another layer to this story that often gets overlooked: Jerry Heller's role in the group's downfall. Years after the breakup, it came to light that Heller had been exploiting not just Cube, but the entire group, including Eazy-E. Before his death in 1995, Eazy reportedly admitted that Heller had been stealing from him and pitting the bandmates against each other. Heller's manipulation may have been the catalyst for N.W.A.'s collapse, but Cube has always maintained that Dre could have done more to stop it. Dre knew what was going on, Cube said. He just didn't want to deal with it. In Cube's eyes, Dre's silence was just as damaging as Heller's actions.
This is a new thing, right?
Yeah.
See, if somebody gonna do something about it,
Right.
technology is so high, right?
Right.
So if you somebody, you go to jail forever. So the kids, you don't want to go to jail forever, right? So
Right.
they got this new thing out there. People sell them all the time. They got this stuff they get blood from somebody with AIDS.
Yeah.
And then with it.
Oh,
so
well, that
that's
seems
gonna happen.
bad.
That's
Yeah.
a slow death.
Yeah. Yeah.
An easy thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
Way to lighten the mood. Wow. Well, Suge's terror alert level just went from elevated to high.
Fast forward to today, and both Cube and Dre are living legends. They've achieved incredible success in their solo careers, but the shadow of N.W.A. still looms large. In 2015, the two appeared together on the cover of Rolling Stone to promote the movie Straight Outta Compton. While the photos seemed to signal a truce, Cube made it clear that he hasn't completely forgiven Dre. "We've shown respect for each other, but that doesn't mean I've forgotten," Cube said. Fans continue to debate who's really to blame for N.W.A.'s breakup. Some say Cube was the smartest one for leaving early and seeing through Jerry Heller's schemes. Others believe Dre did what he had to do to protect himself and his career. One fan commented, "Ice Cube saw the snake in the garden and got out before it was too late. Dre caught on later, but by then, the damage was done." What's clear is that the story of N.W.A. is more than just a tale of musical genius. It's a cautionary tale about loyalty, greed, and the cost of success. And while Cube and Dre may never fully reconcile, their legacy as members of N.W.A. will always be intertwined. So, what's your take on the Ice Cube and Dr. Dre fallout? Do you think Dre could have done more to save the group, or was the breakup inevitable? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into hip-hop's most legendary stories.